What's up guys, your Doomsday here. Today we're back again, and in this video we're going to be playing some Wukong in the jungle. So thought I'd go for a bit of a throwback pick, as if you've been following me for a while, you know that I love playing Wukong in the jungle. And Wukong was the champ that I have played the most in the jungle, and it's the champ that I used to like climb up to Grandmaster the first time, like over a year ago. But Wukong has always been pretty consistent just because of his AoE ultimate. You can essentially carry teamfights with the good Wukong ultimate, and that's what makes him different from a lot of junglers. Because a lot of junglers are more like assassin based, or they're more so single target focused, such as like Lee Sin. But Wukong's different because he can completely carry teamfights and provides good crowd control. So for this match, going to be starting off at the red, and there's actually a very specific reason why I padded down on this side of the map, and I want to talk about this really quickly right here because this is really key against an Aurelia. So one thing about Aurelia is super strong in this meta right now. Like Aurelia is probably one of the most broken champs, and one of the champs that I'll ban. Like I like banning Aurelia just because they're super obnoxious to go against, but a lot of lane Aurelia players in the solo lane love to cheese the enemy laner. So they like to get level 2 before, and then they like to go for their trade with their stun and 2 first abilities because they get the reset. And that's something to really be aware of, because a mistake that this Riven made is he leashed for way too long. Like he should not have leashed that long against an Aurelia, because now look, he already missed like 2 minions, and that's a huge mistake because now look at this level difference. So whenever I go against an Aurelia, actually a lot of times, if it's a melee versus melee matchup, I actually make sure to pad towards this lane, because a lot of times I'll go for a full clear to try and get level 5, but not in this case, because I know Aurelia players play super aggressive, and we'll probably be able to see in a bit, but you could tell they're almost always looking for something, as you can see right there, almost always. So that's why I usually keep an eye on an Aurelia lane if I ever do go up against Aurelia. And something that's here is Camille is on the top side, so I know Camille is going to be doing the same clear as me, and they're only clearing their red side jungle. They'll be going for that top scuttle. But now I'm here. I'm pinging this Riven to start up an engage. I want to see if this Aurelia will go in, but it looks like there's probably a ward there. So I end up just invading this blue over here because I see them going for a fight. And let's see how this turns out. They don't really have much damage early. Ziggs and Jinx don't really provide the most. Plus this is a 3v4, so probably not the move. But as you can see, this lane's struggling a bit, and a lot of times you can get a really good like early cheese gank onto an Aurelia if they don't have good warding up, or if you have a good ganking jungler. So unfortunately Wukong isn't the best ganking jungler pre-level 5, so I see Camille on the way, so I actually just decide to dip out, and now I start to head this way and get some decent damage off. Riven did not want to follow up, so decided to just back off and reset. So now I'm level 3. I'm about to just go and clear my blue side, and this is looking really good right now because I can clear up some of my blue side, and then I'll reach level 5, and then I can look for a gank on the dual lane. Looking for a gank on the dual lane with a huge power spike is super duper key whenever you're playing big champs like Wukong or Evelynn, just because ganking the dual lane is, in my opinion, more worth it than ganking the solo lane. So some solo laners, and in this case this might be a little bit different because it's an Aurelia who needs a lot of gold and who needs to get ahead to snowball. But like a lot of solo laners such as like Garen or Darius and stuff like that, using all your resources to kill a Garen once is not worth it instead of trying to kill 2 laners at once with your ultimate. And that's just something to keep in mind, is when you're ganking this dual lane, you could pick up 2 potential kills compared to just 1 in the solo lane. And that's why a lot of times you'll see me go for dual lane ganks, because you can get so much more value out of them than a lot of solo lane ganks. But that's not to say don't gank the solo lane at all. But I'm just saying, when I go for ganks on the solo lane, I like to almost always guarantee. I don't know why they kept on engaging there, but let's see if I can reach onto that. That Tristana didn't have vision of me. They didn't see me there, but now let's see if I can pick up this Nami here. That's a good bubble there, but maybe I could re-engage. Get a good ultimate. I probably didn't actually need that Lulu ult. That was probably actually a waste, but able to pick up 2 kills there, which is pretty solid. Camille gonna be farming up the red side jungle now, and I'm gonna reset and look for my black cleaver. Maybe there's a ward in there. There definitely is a ward in there. I want to back up because I know their dual lane is on the way back, and I want to get a shot in because I have a lot of gold on me, and I could just buy black cleaver when I reset. So now it looks like this Riven actually is maybe able to turn this around. That was a good turnaround by Riven. So that was good that they didn't get cheesed early, because that's a mistake a lot of laners make against Aurelia, is they just won't pay attention to Aurelia's like level 2 power spike in their early game, and then they'll just get completely snowballed. Because once an Aurelia gets going, it's so hard to do anything against that. And this Riven is going to go down here. I think we pinged him a bunch, but I don't know why he was trying to farm up the wave there. That's okay, it's solo queue. It happens. So now I'm just farming up till I get my ultimate back off cooldown, because I can't really go for this fight with that ultimate. And that's something that you really have to be cautious of on Wukong, is when looking for big team fights at objectives, you really want to check to see if your ultimate is up, and that's probably one of the biggest things. So like, I would not force an objective or something here, and especially now with the new changes to the objectives, it's really important to keep that in mind, because now you have more options in terms of, do you want to like look for a gank or look for a tower, or do you want to go for an objective? So over here now, instead of going for an objective, I can maybe just look for a gank or something like that. But in this case, I have my ultimate back off cooldown. I'm pretty healthy. I just got a shop in, so I am willing to look for a team fight here. I see the Aurelia is rotated, so got to be a bit cautious of that, because it is a 5v4 or 4v5 in their favor right now. Riven is on his way, able to get some good damage onto Aurelia. Trying to see if I can bait out anything. They just use a lot of me there. That's a great Lulu ult, actually. They used up essentially everything. Maybe I can get out of this. Ooh, looks like I lived that with 1 HP. Oh, Riven, the Tristana. The Tristana. Nice. Okay. That was a good turnaround, so that was really solid. Ooh, maybe I can get this Camille here. Almost. That's fine. I'm on my way back to the dragon now. I just had to reset and get some health. But they chose to hard dive me, which I don't think is the move against our team comp. I'm probably the last person that they need to be hard committing on. But they're all super low here. Have to be super cautious. And I really don't want to go for this team fight here, because again, now I don't have ultimate. That Camille jumps in. I think they're trying to go for a steal, but it's not worked out. But now trying to maneuver around and maybe pick up this Aurelia, but they just flash over the wall. Seeing if I can get a third ability onto this Nami. That's a good dodge from the Aurelia stun. Oh, that's a great Nami bubble there. Trying to get onto the Nami, get 1 kill. Maybe I can get this Aurelia. Oh, it looks like I'm gonna go. That was a good job kiting by them. I was still able to pick up 1 kill and force out some flashes and stuff, so it wasn't awful. But I have my Trinity Force now, and I've actually been going Trinity Force on Wukong this patch now. I think Trinity Force is, in general, most of the time a better option than Black Cleaver. I'd only go Black Cleaver if they have, like, multiple, only if they have multiple tanks. It's like 2 or 3 tanks. And now I have my ultimate back off cooldown, and I can maybe be looking for a fight, but we want to be cautious here, because this is a 4v5 right now in their favor, and Jinx is pushing this top wave. And that's really important to note, because if Jinx gets this entire turret by themselves, that's so much gold for ADC, and a fed Jinx is super strong. But we can definitely take this fight just because I have my ultimate, and that's pretty huge, because my ultimate can easily make up for 1 less team member. As you can see, the AoE damage we have, that's something really important to consider when, oh, I go down. Damn. I don't think I'd go down, but that's actually not bad, just because, again, we have... Okay, they lived. Just because this Jinx isn't even with us, this Jinx is getting fed on their own. Maybe the Ziggs can clean this up. Maybe good auto. Nice, okay. So that's definitely worth it right there. We traded about even in kills, plus we didn't even have Jinx, and Jinx just got an entire turret plus a bunch of minion waves. So now Jinx should be pretty far ahead of their ADC, but unfortunately they're not. Actually, their ADC is 5 and 2, so actually their ADC's fed, but our mid's pretty fed. Our mid's really fed. And yep, now I'm pretty much just farming back up, waiting for my ultimate to get back off cooldown, and not really going to be looking for any big team fights. Able to get a turret down there, but you guys can be expecting pretty consistent uploads now. So I hadn't played in a while. I hadn't played in months, and the season reset knocked me back down to Emerald 1 actually. I got knocked back to Emerald 1, and I just decayed down because I didn't play for like months. And I see a bunch of their abilities come out. I see the Tristana there. I don't have my ultimate, which is the problem. That's why I can't really go for hard engage there. But I really grinded this weekend. I started playing on Friday again after work, and I was able to climb up to, I'm at Diamond 1 right now, and it's Tuesday, so I think the goal is to get Masters or Grandmasters by the end of this weekend. I should be able to, but definitely been grinding, hoping to get back into it. And one thing that I'd be expecting is a lot of Evelyn gameplay. I have so much Evelyn gameplay stored up just because even with the new control words, Evelyn is still just so strong. Like, there's just so much gameplay that I have. So you guys can be expecting pretty consistent uploads like every 2 days or so. Because I literally am going to be able to record 4 to 5 videos just today from the gameplay this weekend that I have. And you can see our AoE damage is pretty strong. Trinity Force really good on Wukong. And this patch especially because now fights are happening more often. They're not necessarily being focused around objectives, but just small skirmishes, fights for turrets, etc., small fights in the jungle. And Trinity Force is way better for that because you get really good damage from your first ability. So what I do is I put in a couple points into my third ability first because maxing out or putting some points into your third ability, what it does is it gives you more attack speed whenever you use it, so that helps you clear your jungle faster, etc. But maxing out your first ability with Trinity Force is so strong just because it chunks down enemies. So now they're doing their own thing in mid. Oh, that ult might get Ziggs. Looks like they go down there. I don't know what happened there. I think they just overstayed or something. But now I'm waiting for my ult to get back off cooldown. I have my ult. I'm pinging. We can look for a fight here. Me and this Jinx are collapsing. Oh, that barely missed, but maybe I can get a good engage. I'm just being cautious of, I don't want to accidentally throw here. So now I'm trying to see where this Camille went, but I'm pretty sure they just hook shot out. So just going to keep on farming up, taking this buff. But as I was saying, that 4v5 at the Herald, the main reason we could take that is because of our AoE damage. AoE damage is so broken in teamfights, and that's something you really have to consider when going for big teamfights at the Dragon or Herald or etc. is how much AoE damage do you have, or how much big ultimates do you have. So for instance, champs like Brand, Katarina, Ziggs, Wukong, they all have huge AoE damage and AoE ability. So what that means is area effect, meaning they can hit multiple targets at once. So Ziggs ultimate or Katarina ultimate or my ultimate, they all can hit multiple enemies. So now I get a good engage in. I'm able to get onto the backline, and now I'm chasing down their Tristana and Nami. This Tristana is one shot. Going for this Echo next. I know our Echo already used ultimate, so I was seeing if maybe I could get him. And able to just chunk down that Nami. And you can see the damage from my Trinity Force is pretty nasty. Now, able to take this and
enemy turret destroyed.
Now heading towards the Herald side. They're all still down for about 10 seconds, so should be able to take the... Oh, actually, the Herald's gone. Never mind. Should not be able to take that. But now I'm just pushing out waves before I reset. That's something that you could do as a jungler that can really help your team, is just pushing up waves. It gives you really good map priority. So now we can push up super far, so I can comfortably take this. And you can see they're going to have to clear this wave before they come and contest me or anything. So I'm not too worried. And that's just really the power of pushing up waves, especially when those objectives spawn. And that's something that so many people fail to neglect, is they just don't pay attention to their wave management when these big objectives spawn. Because for instance, if Herald was up right here and we had that mini wave pushed up all the way over here, we would be able to position all the way up in their jungle, and that would make it so we could easily catch somebody out, or see if anybody just missteps, I could just ultimate them and our teammates could follow up. So now getting another shot in, working towards my Guardian Angel now, and looking to see what's happening. I'm just gonna keep on farming up my jungle, and that's another thing to not neglect, is farming once you get past the beginning stages. A lot of junglers will do a pretty bad job of farming right after their first few rotations, but you consistently need to do that. So you see, I want to pad towards this top side, but I'm also taking my jungle on the way, so I'm keep on getting golden experience. And you can see I'm almost 2 levels ahead of Camille. I'm like a level and a half ahead right now. So that's the Nami ultimate. That's pretty huge. That's the Nami bubble too, which is even bigger actually. So that's why I go for this engage. Able to force out essentially all their abilities are... Oh, that was a huge Nani bubble, actually. Oh, that Ziggs ultimate was even more nasty, though. And now I'm just hanging in the back, waiting for my abilities to get back to cooldown and able to clean that up. So now I'm about to get my flash off cooldown. I'm seeing if I can... Maybe I can land a third ability. But don't underestimate the heal from your first ability. Like, that's something I would really keep in mind, is your first ability heals you for a good amount, and also playing around your clone. So if you don't notice, a lot of times whenever I go in for these big ultimates, I know that I'm stepping out pretty far, which can be really, really risky, so I make sure I have my clone off cooldown, because not having your clone off cooldown when you go in for a big engage like that can really screw you over. Because you're just going to get bursted down, you're going to get hit by every single crowd control ability that the enemy has. So now I'm just trying to get this turret low enough so Ziggs can actually just bomb it down. I think Ziggs can one-shot turrets with that ability, with like the satchel charge thing when they're underneath, like, I think it's maybe 25 or 20% HP, so that's why I went for that. Definitely don't try and take turrets without minions, though. That's kind of a throw. Don't do that, don't do that. So now I'm heading back to lane. I have my ultimate off cooldown, and again, my gold lead pretty good over the Camille. I have almost a 5,000 gold lead over the Camille. And that's actually one reason why I don't like Camille this patch, is because with the new changes to jungle, like the red buff is tankier, it's harder to clear your jungle, or at least your first clear, or at least just clearing the red buff and blue buff in general. And it makes it so much harder for champs that have a weaker early game clear, such as Camille. And if you die once in the early game as Camille, it's so hard to come back without a good team. And that's just the struggle of Camille, is you have to play almost perfectly. And while Camille is still a good choice, if you are a good Camille, you just have to be very, very cautious when you do play. That's a pretty risky recall. I'm able to get some good damage off, but notice that whenever I do look for stuff, I mostly try to use my abilities and then back off cooldown, back up again until I get enough back off cooldown. So I have my stone plate. You can see how tanky I am with the stone plate. Like, there is no killing me right now. I just flash, ultimate. Maybe I can kill this echo. Nope, looks like they're able to dash out. But we're able to push this up, and maybe we're looking to end. It looks like we're looking to end. Gotta watch out for that echo stun. That stun from echo is so obnoxious. It is such a large stun. But that had that off cooldown. You can see right when they engage onto me, I can just clone and go to safety. But yep, Stoneplate is another ability you could use if you or another enchantment you could use if you want to be more tanky when you go for engages, if you're worried about getting bursted down. Steric's Gauge, another good one if you're getting bursted down super heavily when going in. That's a good item to buy, but that's going to be it for this video. I'll definitely have more Wukong gameplay out, a lot of Evelyn gameplay, so make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, and I'll see y'all in the next video.